Okay, so for this video, I am just going to be giving some length retention tips, hair growth tips, hair tips, whatever you want to call it, because I know people get real nitpicky when it comes to titles. But yes, so that is what I'm just going to be doing. I do want to inform anybody who is watching, I am not a get to the point, straight to the point person. I feel like when it comes to these tips, there are reasons why I do it, and I like to give those reasons. So if you are a person who is going to complain or leave a comment, I'm letting you know now, this is not the video for you. And if you leave any type of comment, get to the point, any of that, you will be blocked and I will delete your comment. Okay, so I also think that it's important to mention that I'm not giving advice, nor am I seeking advice. I am just sharing my experience with the internet. People tend to pick everything apart. When I say something is hard for me or I'm struggling with something, I'm not really struggling with it. It just annoys me, and it only occurs every now and then. So I just want to put that out there. I can only give so many disclaimers in videos before that's all that's in videos, but I just want to put that out there. I'm not seeking advice, nor am I giving advice. Just sharing my experience. So I'm going to start with the two that that I feel like I haven't seen anywhere else, and I'm not 100% sure if this contributes to the growth and the retention, but I'm going to mention as to why I believe that it could potentially help and it might help others. Okay. Now, the first one that I have is hyaluronic acid serum, or hyaluronic acid serum, or treatment. I came across this on a TikTok or something. It was this girl, she had like blonde hair, she didn't tell up her hair or was real dry, and she started adding it to her ends, and that kind of sent me down the rabbit hole of looking at other videos and whatnot. Now, I'm not going to regurgitate everything that I saw or that I read about it, but I did see that people were using it, and somebody mentioned that it's a humectant, so it brings in that moisture, and I think moisture is something that is very important for my hair, as well as, you know, I would even go as far as saying type 4 hair. I think it's very important when it comes to like retaining and keeping length. And another thing that somebody else mentioned is like when you use it and you're like in a humid area, because there's so much moisture in the air, it's probably really beneficial. If you're in an area where there's not as much moisture, like maybe in a drier climate, it may not work well. If anything, it might hinder or damage the hair in a sense, because if it doesn't have the moisture to pull out of the air, it pulls from what, you know, from what it can, which may be your hair. Now, I'm not in a humid climate, I'm in a dry climate. I'm in California. For the most part, it's pretty damn dry, but what I will say is I am in the Bay Area, so we do get some humidity. I mean, not humidity, we do get a lot of fog. I'm in the East Bay, so not as much, but on occasion we get some fog. And there's also something else that I do that may contribute to the fact that it doesn't necessarily dry my hair out. So I would say the hyaluronic acid serum is one of the things that I started using and may actually be helpful when it comes to moisture, because moisture is very important when it comes to my hair. I can't speak for everybody else, but for my hair. And then the second thing that I do that I haven't really seen many people talk about, I don't know, I don't sit on the internet and watch a whole bunch of videos, but for the videos that I have watched, I have not seen it. And that is going to be no, I already said that. That's going to be a humidifier. So I purchased a humidifier. It has nothing to do with my skin, my hair, none of that. Simply for the fact that it came to my attention that during the night at some point I end up sleeping on my back, which causes me to sleep with my mouth open, which causes me to have a dry throat and nose, and it's so annoying. And to try to help that, I bought a humidifier. But one thing I also looked at was, what is the benefits of a humidifier? Because I get a little scared when it comes to bacteria and mold and all of that. So as I'm doing my research as to which one I should get and what I should look for in a humidifier, there was videos talking about like the overall benefits, and it was talking about skin. You know, you get the moisture as you sleep, and it's just great to have that kind of moisture in the air. So I do use it, but also I saw something that said, you know, hair, it could be great for your hair as well. Not too many videos on that. I think Ray was like, I'm not gonna lie, like one. But the combination of the hyaluronic acid and the humidifier, I think, does contribute to the moisture, or me being able to retain moisture in my hair. So those are the two that I haven't seen and that I feel like may be useful. I don't know though, so don't quote me on it, but to me it just makes sense that there could potentially be benefits to my hair. So that is one thing that those are two things that I would say was helpful. Another thing, since we're going to stay on the topic of moisture, is thick products. For me, using thick products when my hair is like wet, like when I'm doing like more wet styles, whether that's twists or, you know, even braids or anything like that, anything without my hair being straightened or blow dried. When I use thick conditioners, thick deep conditioners, not a thick leave-in, but yeah, thick leave-in would be cool too, because I'm leaving it in. It's not that big of a deal. I mainly use just conditioners and deep conditioners. Just conditioners. Conditioner, deep conditioner, leave-in conditioner. That's really the main products that I use in my hair. I don't really use curling cream, twisting cream, a gel, a souffle, a whip, whatever. Like, I don't use really any of that. So creams and oils, or conditioners and oils, is mainly what I use in my hair. But I do find conditioners to be hydrating. Now, for me, I do use conditioners in a way that isn't recommended on the bottle. I will use a regular conditioner as a leave-in, no problem. I haven't had any issues. I've heard people who say, well, you can over condition or it could become soggy or all these different things. I do not have that problem. My hair just drinks it up. It keeps it nice and moisturized. I wholeheartedly use conditioner as like a leave-in conditioner. Sometimes I use leave-in conditioners, but sometimes it is difficult for me to find a thick enough one or one that goes far enough, because usually the leave-ins be in the itty bitty bottles. Conditioners come in big bottles. I have a lot of hair. I don't want to spend an arm and a leg on my hair, because although I make hair videos, I'm actually not that into hair. My hair or other people's hair, it's not a thing. I actually hate it. I would never want to be a beautician, a stylist, a braider, any of that. I don't like doing hair. I do my hair because I like to be healthy, and health goes everywhere. Nails, hair, skin, body. That's more so why I maintain and continue to do my hair. But I hate doing hair. So I don't like to spend a whole lot of money on it if I don't think it's necessary. If it's something that I really feel like would be beneficial, then I'll do it. But so far, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So regular conditioner works well for me, and I use it as more than, I guess, just conditioner. So yes, that is something that I feel like just helps me out. Conditioner, 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 conditioner. Deep, leave-in, regular. And that helps me with the moisture aspect, because just keeping it nice and moisturized is something that I think really benefits my hair. Another thing that I think helps me out is oil. Sorry, I know I keep apologizing, but another thing that I feel like helps me out is oil. I like to use oil on my hair, not that much and not excessively, just because with my hair, sometimes when I wear it down, I don't always wear it up because I feel like that can also cause issues, but when I wear my hair down, it breaks out my back because the oils and the products, and I don't like having back knee. I don't really think anybody enjoys that. And then you have the scarring, so I have to come up with a whole like back knee routine just because my hair is oily or the products is rubbing up against my back. So I do like to use it sometimes on my scalp, sometimes on the ends of my hair, like just in general. So I have like a little oil concoction that I put in my hair. I don't really think it's anything special to it. I could show a video about it, but it's kind of similar to the other oils that people put on their head. But I do use that. And sometimes I just like mix it in the conditioner before I like put it on my hair. That's also a simple, easy way. And I also have like I want to say shea butter mixture, but it's really just a mixture of a lot of butters. It's not even like shea butter. There is some shea butter in there, but then there's all these other butters too. So me calling it shea butter probably isn't accurate. But I use that like more so towards the ends of my hair. Like if I twist my hair, I like to put those on the ends because I feel like it helps keep it together. But also, you know, the oils kind of lock in all that moisture that that I have in my hair. So I do also like to put it on there. Do I do it all the time? No. But I do it often enough to where I feel like it can have an effect on my hair. So I do like to do that. And I think that kind of ties in with like the whole moisture thing, having nice moisture for your hair. And then the next thing is kind of like, I feel like it's kind of like a moisture thing too. So I guess the theme of this is moisture. But I do believe that the type of styles that people use or put in their hair, or you know, their go-to styles, can have an effect on the hair that they are able to retain, and even sometimes the growth, because if you have so much tension, you end up pulling, maybe you get traction alopecia or something, and you're no longer able to grow hair in that area. So I think it's important to be cognizant of the styles that we are putting in our hair. And also, just because it look cute don't mean that you should wear it. For me, I do like to do updos more. It's starting to become a little bit more difficult, because although it wasn't a lot of tension in the past, because my hair is longer, it is heavier. So it tends to pull on certain areas of my head, whether that be like the front right here or the sides, or if I have like a clip or something, it can pull right here. So I have to constantly adjust it until it feels comfortable. But doing low tension styles, I think, is just kind of like an automatic, like, girl, duh, but some people need to hear it. Low tension styles, and that can vary. And I think you also have to be aware of, like, you know, the state of your hair, what a state that your hair is in. What a low tension style would be probably for my hair straight would not translate to a low tension style for my hair wet. So I don't know if that makes sense, but just to understand what styles work well and kind of give you the maximum growth. I think that, you know, some people love buns because it's up and out of the way, but you can cause breakage in certain areas, especially if it's heavy, or if it's the bun that never moves. You never take it down. You just leave it there for weeks on end because you just don't feel bothered. You don't want to feel bothered with doing your hair. Although I don't like doing hair, I don't kind of neglect my hair in that way. It may take me a little longer to retwist, but it's not going to take me like months. I never understood people who go months on top of months without doing their hair at all. It just itches, it might stink, like, it's a lot that goes on with it. But I think low tension kind of styles, updos more than down. I prefer updos, but I have to figure out the best updos as my hair gets longer because it gets heavier. And if I do wear it down, the best style for me would be braids, like 2 braids. That works best for me, honestly. And then I would also say, this kind of goes back to my previous comment, how long you wear your hair. For me, I think like mid to long term styles is what works best for me. Now, when I say long term, I'm talking maybe no more than like 6 weeks ish. Really, I'm thinking more so like 4 months. I mean 4 months, 4 weeks. And then when I say mid, I'm thinking more like 2 weeks. And that's just my personal definition. Other people can have their own definition. Sorry that we don't agree, but that is just what I mean by that. Okay, and then another thing that I would say, which was probably in my other one, is if you want to retain length, I think laying off the heat is beneficial. Now, I think when it comes to heat, it's not necessarily bad to use it. I just think that people use it excessively, especially when it comes to like straight hair. Like, people are maybe in more humid climates, so they got to hit their hair a little bit more, or they want to do all these styles, so they just keep curling and bumping and crimping and wanding. Like, so I think overdoing it can definitely cause a problem. Is it like the devil, the end all be all if you do your hair with heat every now and then? No. Blowouts, is that like the end of the world? No. But if you get it like every week or doing it every other day, yeah. But I think laying off the heat in general has helped my hair, but also being wise with the heat that you use and creating a schedule that will cause the least amount of damage, I think is beneficial. When I was younger, what I would say is, although I used a lot of heat and didn't really care about heat damage, like, it is what it is, as I started to learn more about it, then I was like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't do this. But my hair continued to grow. Although I had split ends, although I had breakage, although I had all those things going on, my hair would grow, because I would constantly cut my hair. It would keep going to the same length, and I end up cutting it because I'm like, I need a fresh cut. Ain't nothing like a fresh cut. But I would end up cutting it again. So I do believe that it'll continue to grow. The retention and the overall health of it, I think, can be greatly affected by heat. That's what I will say. I know people be like, well, my hair grows just fine. I bet it do. To each their own. Another thing that I would say is the accessories. So the accessories that I use on my hair has had to shift and kind of change, because at one point I used to use the little elastic bands. I like those because I thought it was like a cleaner, sleeker look, and you didn't notice the big bulky hair ties. But those be just catching my hair all the time. Not all the time. It catches my hair more than the silk ones. Back in the day, maybe I was just talking myself into believing that it didn't do it, but it does. One thing that don't though is rubber bands. The little black rubber bands, that don't be tearing my hair up. For whatever reason, it be tearing everybody else up, but it don't be tearing my hair up. The big ones, that the tan ones, yeah, you'll get a bald spot for sure. But I think just using the proper tools, I have begun to use like more hair ties like these, especially with my hair like this. Even though I can't get like the tightest, sleekest ponytail, which really isn't good for me anyway, I prefer to use these. It don't always go with the outfit I'm wearing. Not like I'm a fashionista anyway, but it don't always go with the outfit that I'm wearing, but it brings me peace and doesn't cause me headaches. So I prefer to use ones like these. Also, what I would say is clips. Although I want to use the clips, the claw clips, the banana clips, the alligator clips, whatever they call, I can't always use them because they're not really meant for me. I would say I've seen like people with type 4 hair or curly, kinky, coily hair use it. That's fine, but because my hair is longer, it's heavier, it's thicker in certain areas. When I wrap it all up, at that point, it's done for. It's hard to put the clip in. It's not impossible because I do it when my hair is wet and mini twist. I just kind of do it when it's wet. If it's dry, I could kiss it goodbye. But sometimes I have to, like I said, I think previously, I have to adjust the clip because it can kind of pull in this area, or when I first pin it back, like right here, it can cause some issues. So I do kind of switch it up to the best of my abilities, because sometimes I do want to wear it. I think it's kind of cute, but I can't always wear it. So then if it's too thick or it's really hurting, then maybe I'll just do half up, half down, because it's not as much hair and I'm able to kind of get away with it. But it can hurt, and I just have to find ways, because those clips are really meant for my thickness or density of hair or type of hair, being length, curl type, or whatever. So just using the proper accessories. So I try to use the appropriate accessories to accommodate my hair length, thickness, and overall like state, whether it be wet or dry. Another thing, and this one I feel like it's kind of hard for me to describe, but like a cutting schedule. So the reason why I say a cutting schedule, because I feel like when it comes to cutting hair and when or how often or how much somebody should cut, that really depends on the person and how they wear their hair. For me, when I straighten my hair more, I cut my hair more. Part of it was because I have a problem, but I would just cut my hair like all the time, just cut. As my hair is wet or wearing it wet, I didn't cut it as often, and I don't think that that's necessarily the issue, but I do believe that there is such a thing as going too long without cutting your hair. And for me, I almost went like a year and a half without cutting or trimming my hair. I went a year and 4 months, which is practically a year and a half, without cutting my hair at all. And I feel like that had an effect on my hair when I straightened this time around. I don't know really how to describe it, but I think people have to create a proper cutting schedule based off of how they wear their hair. If you use heat more often, you may need to cut it more often. The split ends may be running rampant. If you wear your hair out more often, you may need to cut it more often. The only reason why I say that is because washing goes and wearing it and it's rubbing up against things, and you know, it's just exposed more, so it may need to be trimmed more often. If you somebody who kind of tucks it away, and I ain't talking about tuck it away for like 5-6 months, I'm talking about like a few weeks, a month or so, then you may not have to cut it as often. I really think it just varies, but I learned for me, when I need to cut my hair varies on how I'm wearing my hair. Now that I'm not somebody who straightens it as often, I really don't feel the need to cut it as often. But when I straightened it a lot, I felt the need to cut it more often in order to keep it kind of healthy without having those invisible ends, the straggly ends. It was just something that was more relevant. Let's see. Another thing that I think is very important is lifestyle. I think so many people ignore this, but overall lifestyle, I feel like, contributes to your hair growth, retention, all of that. And the reason, and I'll give some examples. So for me, I am somebody who started working out. Do I think working out actually affects it? Yes and no. Although I didn't work out consistently, like hit the gym. I am somebody who walks a lot. I'm very mobile and active. Like I would walk miles a day from work to my mom's job. Like I was always somebody who walked. So although I was not working out consistently, I am an active individual. Like I would still go on hikes. I would walk somewhere rather than drive somewhere, depending on where I'm at. But now I do Pilates and different things like that. I'm more into trying to find not unconventional workouts, but things that I can enjoy and not realize that I'm working out. But I do Pilates with a reformer, if anybody's curious, not the ones with the mat on the floor. I'm usually a reformer kind of gal. But also food. I think the food that people eat is very important. Some people eat like crap and then wonder why their body look like crap, whether that be your actual body, your skin, your hair, your teeth, your nails. I feel like food is a big factor when it comes to your overall health, and that includes your hair. I eat fairly healthy in my opinion. I'm not a huge meat eater. I like just like a sprinkle of meat. I eat I ain't gonna say I eat a variety of meat. I ain't that experimental, but I do eat like beef. I eat turkey, chicken, you know. And I do love vegetables. I am somebody who loves vegetables. I'll eat Brussels sprouts, string beans. I love the leafy greens. I eat salads. Whenever I go to work, I always be like, oh, another salad. I love salads. I love to eat salads. I like fruit. Like these are things that I thoroughly enjoy. Am I a person who doesn't eat junk food or eat bad at all? No. But I typically steer clear of those foods. One, because they don't make me feel good, as well as some of the food is a little too heavy for me. Like it just makes me feel sluggish. So that's just something that comes natural to me, but I do naturally love healthier foods as well. So I eat healthy. Another thing I would say is some habits that people have contribute to it. Smoking, drinking, all those things I feel like contribute to your body's health. And I don't know if it directly correlates with hair, but I personally don't do any of those things. One, because I'm not interested, but two, I'm not a health nut, but like I got asthma, so ain't no need for me to smoke. And I also don't like the smell of smoke in my hair. I hate it. I could get the smell out, but I don't like it in my hair. So that's something that you know, I steer clear of, as well as like I don't really do any type of drugs or anything like that. But another thing I would say is medication. This is something that I think some people don't consider, but I am not on any type of medication. So I know some people, like birth control can affect like their skin and different things, maybe even their hair. Some people I think say like their hair grows like wildfire, or is that prenatals? I don't know, but something that got to do with a baby, they be helping their hair. But I'm not on any medication. So I don't take any medications that would hinder my hair growth, nor really promote my hair growth. The most I take is Advil if I have a headache. And I recently had the flu, so I never take medicine, but the flu it was tearing me up. So I had to take some medication for that. But other than that, I'm not on any medication of any sort. And then another thing I would say, which ties into lifestyle, is hygiene. I feel like some people do things that it's kind of dirty, and I think that that would also contribute to your hair, because I know there are people who wear their hair for months and some of them don't wash it. Like it's different if you wash it, that's your business. But the ones who don't wash it, at some point become everybody's business, because we can smell you. And I think that that is something that needs to be addressed when you're trying to have healthy hair. It's similar with your skin, your body. You wash it because it gets dirty. It produces oil itself, as well as, you know, the outside factors can contribute to that. So washing the hair and making sure that it's clean is important, in my opinion. I know some people say dirty hair grows. For the most part, I be thinking that it's just because their hair is up and put away. I don't think it's the dirt itself. As somebody who don't be having dirty hair, my hair grows just fine, but I guess each person is different. But hygiene, I think, is important. I think it's very important. And that leads me to scalp health, because I feel like if you're not washing your hair or taking care of your hair, your scalp is probably suffering, and your scalp needs to be healthy in order to produce great, you know, hair, healthy hair. I do believe scalp health is very important. And I would just say making sure that it is clean and that you are using things that are healthy for your scalp. One thing that I had an issue with that I didn't realize was I had scalp eczema, scalp dermatitis. If you've seen a video that I spoke about it, sorry, I'm gonna repeat it here. I had scalp eczema, and it was from using Shea Moisture. Do I think Shea Moisture is a devil? No, but I think the particular product that I was using from them did not have what I needed, and it caused scalp issues. And what I mean by that is when I went to speak to my doctor about it, she was just like, oh yeah, that sounds about right, because I'm the one who told her, because I was Googling before I got there. And she was like, yeah. She brought up this big old book, flipped through it, got to the page. She was like, yeah, that sounds about right. But basically she told me to use Selsun Blue or Head and Shoulders. I did not go Selsun Blue. I'm a very particular person when it comes to smells, and that did not pass the smell test. So I went on over to Head and Shoulders. And although I don't only use Head and Shoulders like 24/7 all the time, Head and Shoulders is what helped my scalp recover. So if I ever have scalp issues, I run to Head and Shoulders. But I do believe that a clean, healthy scalp, you know, is something that is important and that sometimes people neglect. So that is what I have for this video. So thank you for watching. Yeah, hopefully some of those things were helpful and not as repetitive as before or from other videos, but thank you for watching.